There's nothing better than something hot and gooey in your mouth.
You could have started that completely different. So, hi everybody. How about a delicious summery dip that you can share with your family and loved
But
ones?
you think people want to hear you say that, or you want to hear me say that
They don't want to hear you say that bullshit,
you
okay? They
want
want to hear me
something
talk about
hot
summery and deliciousness. And this is the best dip I have had, Mariela,
ever?
period.
Okay, so this recipe came via my Courtney. I've known her for a really long time since our kids were really little. I met her at school, and she's a fun time, and she loves our show, and we love her. And she
We
told,
love Courtney.
yes,
Courtney is amazing.
Eric. I think she's dying to meet Eric, which I think we have to make it happen one day. It's like a make a wish, but for people who like cooking instead.
God damn.
That's fucked up, right? I don't even know.
That is fucked up. You know what? I'm glad you said it and not me. So let's talk about how amazing Courtney is
Oh my God.
and how incredible and grateful I am that she shared a family recipe with us.
As am I. This recipe comes via her mama and her mom's friend, actually. Her name is Anna. And it's a crab dip recipe, but it's not like what you're thinking.
Now, this shit was good.
Not only is it good, but it's budget friendly, which when you say crab, you're always like, oh, fuck this. I'm not going to bother.
Well, what I like about this dip is the basically all these ingredients, if you follow us, you're going to essentially have in your home.
That is so
The only,
true.
yeah, the only thing you might need to get is the crab itself, but you can use canned. I did use canned lump crab meat for this,
You did the
but
good
it was
crab.
two cans. It was $7 a can. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I spent $14 because I had everything else in my house, and I did do one substitute, and we can talk about that substitute in a second.
Yeah, I used the even cheaper cans, which were $4 because I wanted to try. We like to try it all different kinds of ways, especially Eric, because he's a good time gal as well.
Well, I did the lump crab meat because I spent the extra $3 a can because it's Courtney's recipe, and I wanted to make sure I did it perfectly because now I'm in love with Courtney after having this dip.
You're a sweet angel
So,
baby.
okay, this was so good. Let's get into this one.
Okay, tell me. So what's up?
All right, so this is what we did. So like I said, 2 cans of lump crab meat. If you want to get the other crab meat, get the other crab meat. It's totally fine. You're still gonna get the flavor. So I used 2 cans of lump crab meat. It's a really easy way to make this recipe too. I threw it in one big bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did 8 ounces, so like a big square of cream cheese. Throw that in the bowl also. Now, I do always try to find like little healthier cuts that we can do here, but no, use full fat cream cheese for this.
You know what?
Um,
Funny you should
huh?
say. I, by mistake, bought the one-third less fat cream cheese, and I was so mad at myself, but it still worked.
You know, 1/3 less fat is not really bad though. It's kind of when you get into like fat-free cream cheese that
It's ridiculous.
just doesn't work. All right, so 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons sour cream. I didn't have sour cream,
Mm-hmm.
so I used 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt.
Okay.
So it tastes the same to me. 1 tablespoon mayo. I don't have mayo in my home. I don't keep it in my home because I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not use mayo. Okay, I used just an extra dollop of not sour cream of Greek yogurt. All right, so you're gonna go ahead. You're also gonna put 1 teaspoon of chopped onion. I put a little bit more than that. I used about a half an onion, and then you're gonna do Worcestershire sauce to taste. I love Worcestershire sauce, so I put
Same.
a decent amount. Cayenne pepper to taste. I love cayenne pepper, so I definitely use a good amount. And then 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice. I did use a real lemon for this,
Yeah.
and I basically put the whole lemon in there.
Okay.
Okay, squeezed it, put the whole lemon in there, and then just mixed it together, and that's it. And then after we mix it together, I went ahead. I put it in a baking dish. You could put like in a ramekin. I put it in a baking dish. Put it. You set your oven. I set my oven to 350 degrees,
Yeah.
and then what you do is on the top, you want to use unseasoned breadcrumbs and Parmesan
Parmesan.
cheese.
Yeah.
Right. You mix it together, put that on top, put it in the oven. I put it in the oven for about 15 minutes. Take that shit out, go grab a baguette, and I want you to taste this amazing citrusy, umami crab flavored dip. It was, Mariela, the whole thing was gone. Between me and one other person, my friend Justin, one other person. And that was it. It was gone.
Yum.
It was so fucking good. This is my summer dip. So it's a hot dip, but it's very summery because it has that citrusy lemon flavor, has the Worcestershire sauce, which just has just this like nice deep aroma and flavor to it. And it was incredible. This was so,
So
I would eat it with a fucking spoon. Okay?
yeah, I agree. It is just, and it's not like too fishy. So if you're not a fish person, don't let that deter you. This is not too fishy. It is
Uh,
just it's perfect. So listen, I made it different too because we're those kind of people, right? You and I.
yeah.
I see a recipe and I think that's a great start.
Well, not just that. I see a recipe and I think to myself, how can I make it with the stuff I have at home?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, and I remember you and I being younger and in college, even before college, things like that. You and I would go and spend $100 just to make a recipe.
Yeah, like an idiot.
Right. Like with like our little part-time money, we would go
Mm-hmm.
spend $100 just to make a recipe for one fucking meal, have, 6 bites of it because we cooked it all day and now we're not hungry anymore.
Definitely.
Um, so that's why, I didn't have the sour cream, but I knew I had the Greek yogurt. To me, it tastes identical. So
Yeah, it's a good
that's
replacement.
what I use.
So check it out.
You did something a little bit different with the topping.
I did a lot of different things because, see, I used the white crab meat, which was under $4 a can, and which I had
Mm-hmm.
never opened in my life. Like I had never thought. I didn't even know crab came in a can. Number
I
one,
knew. I
you
knew
did
that.
because you're an old fucking man and you like pickled fish and shit since you were a
I like
baby.
pickled herring, and there's nothing fucking wrong with that.
And you like to catch a nice crab. There's not a crab you haven't caught that you don't like.
Well, thank God there's ointment. So, anyways, the
You
shampoo
itchy
for it, Mariella.
motherfucker. Shampoo.
I've never had
Oof.
crabs. That sounds horrifying.
That sounds horrendous. So I did have 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I used that. I used the mayonnaise because that's a staple at my house. I grated the onion instead because I like grating onion when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
a dip or whatever. So you just take the side of your finest part of your grater and you just fucking go to town and let all the juice fall in there because onion juice is so good in a dip, in my opinion.
It adds flavor.
Agreed. And then the Worcestershire sauce to taste, right? Which is kind of tricky if you don't know how to use Worcestershire sauce. It is salty,
Taste it first. If you've never
right?
had it, taste it first.
Right. It is a salty, kind of like
Yes.
briny taste. I want to say that I used about a like a teaspoon and a little bit. I want to say.
I use like a
Maybe.
tablespoon and a half.
Damn,
Easily.
you fucking drowned that bitch.
I love Worcestershire sauce.
It's
It's just
delightful. Okay, so
delicious.
do that, but somewhere in between. Start little, and then because you can always add, but you can't take it out.
Right.
Then I don't have cayenne pepper in my house because we don't eat spicy food around here. I can't handle it anymore because I'm
Old.
mature, and my kids don't like it. So what I did instead, I looked in my spice drawer and I said, how can I replicate a cayenne feel without the cayenne kick? So I got smoked paprika, which if you're a frutificure, you know that we always have at our house. I
Mm-hmm.
I used like a good sprinkle. I can't even tell you. Like I just like, when you see red on top and it's like a
Right.
nice little smattering, that's what I did. And then I added like 3 shakes of Crystal's hot sauce, which is my favorite because it's vinegary, but it's not hot. Then I added the lemon juice, which I think, in my opinion, is the secret to this dip.
It is. Absolutely.
And not that it even tastes lemony because it doesn't. It's just the acidity, the balance is
Mm-hmm.
fucking amazing. Then, oh, make sure your cream cheese is a little on the softer side, like you leave it out
Yes.
because if not, it's gonna be a bitch to fucking blend. Or you can use a blender, like my friend Courtney makes it in a food processor, which I thought was kind of brilliant. And then I only had when I was making it, I was like Eric would die. I only had the cheese that comes in a green can, so I shook it on top.
Yeah. I don't do that.
I know. I added my panko and then I put like a pat of butter on top because I wanted it to get extra crispy and delicious. And then I air fried it because bitch, if I don't fucking air fry it, usually it doesn't get done. So I air fried that bitch and I did it at 350 for I want to say like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It came out delicious, delicious, delicious. And I also served it with the toasted baguette. But
Mm-hmm.
Courtney insists that it is better with like a dark soy sauce rice cracker, which I'm gonna try because I love a rice cracker. If you know anything about me, you know that I love a good old lady rice cracker.
I come up to my living room. Mariela visits at like 12:30 at night, and she's sitting on my couch with her legs crisscrossed because she's like 4'3", and you're just there with a bowl of rice crackers.
I know.
That's it.
Oh,
Very happily watching TV
I could live.
with a bowl of rice crackers.
I could live off of rice crackers, cheese, and soup.
Yeah, you can. You're
I
so
can.
fucking old.
I can. And honestly, if you bring this to any party, people will be happy. You can serve this. We're going to actually have this for Mother's Day. Everyone's bringing an appetizer, and I'm bringing the crab dip. And I know that shit's going to be popular. I think the kids might even like at least try it because it's not so fishy. And you and I were
It is
talking
so
about,
good.
yes, and you and I were talking about how we could possibly even use this with other tin fish. I think it could
Yes.
work. It could
Yes.
work. I think even like those mussels, if you're like a mussel in a can kind of person, I'm not, but maybe you are, and I'm not going to yuck your yum. Just grab them and chop them up, and you can have like a mussel dip. Make it your own because you can, because it's your fucking life, and you can make the dip of your dreams whenever you want.
I'm not a big canned mussel person. I do like fresh mussels,
I do too.
but I'm not a big canned mussel person. But I think you can use it with any fish you want.
Indeed.
But if you buy the crab, just buy the crab. Like I said, if you want to use the crab, use it. If you want to honor Courtney, go ahead and use lump crab meat. And honest to God, this was the best dip I have had in such a long time.
It is, as you
This will
said,
be an absolute staple in my home
forever.
It'll be a staple to take to parties when I serve dip, and I entertain a lot, like weekly. And this will be something. Go ahead, make a joke, Monty. Go ahead. Just make a fucking joke already. Everybody's waiting for your fucking.
You're a lady of the evening,
joke.
and you like to entertain. I know. your
go
door is
ahead.
always open, and it's usually the back door.
God, you're such a dick.
I know. What they must think.
I hate you so much sometimes.
I kid.
You don't kid anything. Everything out of her mouth is fucking real, people.
Oh my God. Listen, I just want to thank my friend Courtney. I'm going to thank her mama, Miss Lisa, and her mama's friend, Miss Anna, because this really, I feel is kind of life-changing, Key. And you can serve this to anybody anytime.
Yeah. Do it. It's delicious. And Courtney is amazing. And thank you for sharing her family recipe with us.
All right, you guys, make sure you make this. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Send us a line. Look at the show notes. If you don't know where they are, it's like wherever you press play, keep going down and you'll see like all kinds of links and stuff that you can contact us with. If you have a family recipe, can you please fucking send it already?
Yes.
Waiting for
I
it?
would love family recipes.
This is like one of those, I feel. I love a family recipe because they're always good and they're customizable to any budget and any event. Anyway, we love you. Don't forget to come back next week and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.